Hello! This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I'm Magpie. And how are my co-hosts doing today?
Um, I'm Blackle. I'm doing good. Had a pretty good day today.
I heard you got some gloves.
I did. I did. I went on.
I
some
specifically told you that this wasn't anime.
I just thought it was funny to bring it up.
I went on some errands today. I went to the library to get my library card renewed, and I also
Okay,
went to
good.
the fetish store to get some gloves. So.
Excellent.
Library card is relevant because this is access to more library anime, so.
Exactly.
Anyhow, I'm Joey, resident troublemaker. I have finally completed Hunter x Hunter.
Oh wow.
All right. I give you leave to speak of this, but let me address some news before we begin.
Yes.
The news is short.
Okay.
First of all, some podcast news about me, about the things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got an operating system for my new computer, which I'm currently broadcasting from.
Fully armed
the other
and
day,
operational.
This battle station is fully armed and operational, and was made so kind of by surprise on a day I wasn't expecting it, which is important for what happened next. Because what happened next is I did take my portable hard drive and plug it into this computer and unload all the important stuff, and then I discovered that at some point I had taken the podcast archives off of the portable hard drive, and they were still living in the old computer that's solid state drive wasn't even hooked up to anything.
He had to do a little bit of surgery.
I had a panic attack because I had to do brain surgery on this fucking computer. More like a kidney transplant.
Magpie. I also have you also have an offsite backup, which is that I did download. Actually, I have to update the backup, but I did download a fuckload of our videos on YouTube, personally to have.
I still had to do this though because all of the assets involved in the creation of the podcast also lived in that file.
Yeah, it's important to have.
Including our bumpers, intro and outro music, and the image component of our videos.
Yeah.
So that was incredibly stressful, and it also made me remember that I had to find entirely new programs with which to edit and finish this podcast. Which I had to download yesterday. After having to search for like 2 hours to find a video editing program because the one included in Windows 10 is dog shit. In the only anime news I could find, because I was so stressed out by these things that I did not even look up news until about 5 seconds before we started. This is tangentially related, and I believe we discussed it before, but I am continually seeing new trailers for Lost Judgment, which is very sad given that that's going to be the last video game in that series.
Oh, wow.
Because the main actor's talent agency is full of psychotic dinosaurs who refuse to allow Sega to release those games on the PC. So they're just going to can them.
That sucks.
To have pictures on the internet.
They are not allowed to have pictures on the internet.
If you would sell them.
And they don't understand that the PlayStation and the Xbox are just different kinds of computers.
Yeah.
And anything you could do with a PC release, you can do with them.
Yeah. We can't get into that because it will make me just very sad.
But the answer is no, we don't like it. We don't understand it. We don't like it. You can't do it. It's not allowed. I think the only way to deal with these people, at least from this perspective, is to simply not hire any of their talent anymore until they get the idea.
Yeah.
So
These are the same people that have, as part of their contracts, have the right to demand online publications cut their clients out of photographs before they publish.
whack.
It's incredible.
It is some wild shit in the Japanese talent business. But that's all the news I have. So I'll hand the floor over for this long play of.
I'm not gonna rant for too long. Hunter x Hunter. Like I've recently been talking about they added the last 2 technically seasons, which is it's saying something because season 5 of Hunter x Hunter is, well, we're talking about the 2011 series, by the way. Season 5 is like 50 episodes long, and then season 6 is like 10 episodes long. So like it's hard to like talk about them without like going like super much, like it doesn't make any sense. So season 5 is known as the Chimera Ant arc, in which they fight a bunch of ants who, by eating like other creatures, they gain those properties within their children. And long story short is that these ants get too big and they start tasting human flesh. And so they get smart, and that makes them powerful. And so that is quite a long arc, but it's very good. There's a lot of like tense and like heartwarming moments within it. But my summary of it is they added multiple Catboys, so 10 out of 10 from JoJo.
Oh my god.
And then the
I love
arc
the
after
Catboy.
that is just like Hunter politics, which is kind of it's a weird thing to follow up the previous arc with. I feel like they do like a really serious, like really dark and like epic long arc, and then they always follow it up with a very silly, very short kind of goofy arc. So I don't know, because that's what they did with the previous arcs, which was like the really dark I think Phantom Trope arc was right before. And then directly following that was Greed Island, which we don't talk about Greed Island.
I've heard of Greed Island.
Greed Island is some whack shit. That's all I'll say.
Well, all right. That's been JoJo's
Hunter x Hunter.
LP of Hunter x Hunter. What are we gonna watch today?
JoJo is responsible for picking this, because apparently I'm behind in picks.
You gotta pick more.
Even though I feel like I pick all the time. So, in retribution for having to pick what feels like all the time, even though it's not all the time, I am gonna make us watch...
In revenge for us against a slight that we have not committed.
I'm gonna make us watch... My mental choices are completely interfering with my high school romantic comedy.
Okay.
All right.
That's like the title.
I had to
let's
pick one
watch
of the
it.
fucked up long name animes, so
You can finally get rid of it.
get that off
Vanish
of the
into its
list.
shadow realm. So this show is just the equivalent of that Windows prompt that shows up, and it's just like, do you want to update? And the choices are yes and later.
Yeah.
This This is Invasive Thoughts, the anime.
This man has a mental problem.
We should,
This-
yeah, they're playing it for comedy. This person is dreadfully insane, and so not
Yes.
everything in here is his fault.
This guy needs help.
He requires attention, although there may be a supernatural element to this.
I
but
feel like they are going for this is a supernatural angle, which is very sad.
This is like a
somehow.
Greek. This is like a curse
It's a
that has
Greek
been dropped.
tragedy!
Yeah, it's been dropped on you by like fucking Poseidon.
The gods have smited him.
The gods
Because-
were bored and picked a random mortal to just
'Cause you were-
fucking fuck with.
Because he's jealous of your junk or something. I don't know. The
Yeah.
Greeks did things for like petty reasons. The Greek gods, I should
To
clarify.
be fair, these are definitely the Greek gods because they are also extremely horny with
they
their
are
options.
very horny. But I didn't mean to imply that all Greeks are extremely petty. I don't personally know that many Greeks. I couldn't make such a pronouncement.
Nah, just the gods. It's
Just the
fine.
gods.
So, Blackhole, you're up for this blurb. I've chosen
Okay.
this one for you. Begin.
For Kanade Amakusa,
You
Life
got
is
it.
a high-
You got it right on the first try.
life as
You're
a high
getting better.
schooler should have been normal, and it would have been if he wasn't living the most ridiculous curse imaginable. Absolute choice, a system forced upon him by a self-proclaimed god, randomly presents a mental selection of actions that he must act out based on his choice. To add to his dilemma, it tends to occur in the most public of places, and his options never seem to deviate from the rude and crude in nature. As a result, the helpless boy stresses through each day, fumbling to repair his already tarnished reputation while desperately praying to avoid the next spontaneous episode of absolute choice. To his dismay, the one in charge is always one step ahead of him and proceeds to not so subtly choice him into the lives of several girls at his school. Just when Kanade's school life can't seem to be doomed any further, a decision that he recklessly selects on the way home sends a beautiful girl crashing down from the sky, along with the promise of a more hysterically hellish choices.
So yeah, like Greek curse,
Yes, this
vengeance
guy
of
is
the gods shit.
cursed.
Uh, For reference,
Yeah, let's take it from the top and start with his apparently first ever cursed choice. Well,
not
I don't
first
know if it's
ever. We
first ever. We don't know that.
First
But the
represented,
first
though.
one that they show in the show.
I want to note before then, because I have a note about it. They appear to make him look like a normal human being from the first second of the show, because he does just engage in a normal scene in which some girls drop things, and he does bring them to them,
Yeah,
Like
it's like
like
it's
a little
just kind
amulet
of sweet.
or a dog with a woman's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the pretense of normalcy goes out the window when he walks past a public park and sees a pornographic magazine on the ground and begins to blow a blood vessel over it.
He becomes extremely down bad.
Yeah.
And
He sees this naughty mag lying on the ground, and he's like, I'm gonna approach it like a normal human being. I can't go too fast or I'm gonna look desperate. And so he's just kind of standing there, just like
and
Which,
then,
first of
and
all-
then the wind blows it open, and he's like, "Yes, champion!" And then
Yosh.
absolute choice kicks in.
And the choice is eat it or smell it.
yeah. And he's like, no, I don't want to do either of those. And he legitimately has like a breakdown.
He has a
Like,
Looney
he is
Tunes
like
breakdown.
rolling across the ground. He like rolls directly into the water.
Uh-huh.
It's actually like that actually made me laugh like
It's
pretty
just
hard
so
because I was like, this is wacky.
It's all over the place.
And but he has to pick one of them. So he, obviously when you're watching this show, you're like, which choice would I make? And
Yeah.
he is choosing definitely the less awful options for sure, because
He's
he does.
He's definitely choosing the ones where I'm like, that's like the one that you would pick if you.
That's the one that you would have to pick because it's like
The
they're
other
both
one is, like,
awful
so much worse.
choices.
Yeah.
It's the one nearer to human.
Yeah, it's the one that's slightly less awful. So
She's,
Yes.
the real choice was to not approach this pornographic magazine to begin with, because we
Mhm.
live in the modern era, and if you want that, you can just find it for free on a computer at home.
Yeah. Fair. But like, I don't know, maybe he didn't realize, but then he made his mistake. Listen, sometimes you're a horny teenager and you see forest porn.
We have moved beyond the need for the pornography stump.
We have.
Humanity has progressed past the pornography stump.
And so he picks Sniff. So he like grabs the magazine and just like takes a big old face dive whiff of this paper. And I'm just like, it smells like paper, dude.
It's either going to smell like paper or something you don't want to smell.
Yeah, it's
No,
gonna smell
exactly.
like someone's old goo.
And then some like kids walk by and point at him and laugh and call him a pervert.
They're just like, haha, look at this turbo virgin.
Yeah. And then he like starts talking to himself, like we get a monologue where he's basically describing his condition, and he calls it Stugsvang, which is literally like it's a term from chess, but he doesn't explain it very well. It's basically like, it's when you're in a position in chess where if you know, the best option is not to move anything, but you have to move something because it's your turn.
Yeah.
That's how he describes it, which is like weirdly a fitting word for it. Like where like he would very much not like to do any of these intrusive thoughts, but he must for whatever reason. Otherwise, he gets brain attacks and like he gets extreme pain or whatever.
Literal pain.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's so like appropriate because it had to be the seed of the idea for the show to begin with.
Yeah.
Somebody was playing chess and they were just like, "Hey, wait a minute.
What if I could make this horny?
What if?"
What if this chess had more butts and boobs in it, actually?
What if like the king had like a big like donger? What if the queen had like big titties?
What if these knights were like hot girls?
Could you This is a weird conversation for us specifically, who have all played chess against each other to the point that we quit the game.
It wasn't a good time for most of us.
It
was an okay time.
I had a great time.
It was an okay time for some of us, which I'm not going to name Blackles, but I mean name names. So what was your question?
Magpie?
What?
Were you saying this is a weird question for us because we've all played chess with each other?
I didn't say it was a weird question.
You started.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. You were just saying it was a weird conversation.
Yeah, it's a weird conversation.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a thought there,
Right?
like further.
Well, shame on you for thinking that I had a thought.
Can we talk about the like extremely long choices segment? Because it was too much.
I know. He's just rolling around.
It went on for far too long.
No. I'm talking about where it's like a TV show.
Yeah.
With like the talk show, and he's just like, think about all the people who have within history who have ever made choices. And it's like
it goes
legitimately
so
every like choices, and it's like 2 seconds per choice, but it goes for like literally 5 minutes of choices. Like Wright brothers.
Steve Jobs choosing between making the smartphone be a flip phone or having like a touch screen. Like Edison choosing to like make a light bulb. There's
a bunch of obscure Japanese characters from, I assume, the Warring States period, making alliances and shit.
Yes.
Did anyone notice that in the background, the subber basically put like in very, very light text, like very hard to read text, little explanations.
Mhm.
On the spot.
It
But
was
they were in like every
they were
single one.
too fast.
They were too
They
fast.
was literally too fast, and I was like, there are too many of these. I thought this was. I actually was worried that this was going to be the whole show because that bit was going on for so
It
long.
went on a little too long.
It
I
was
will
like
say-
a little scary.
I will say the one thing that I paused at just to see what it was the explanation for the Albert Einstein choice. So the choice that Albert Einstein basically chose, according to the show, was he either picked 1 + 1 = 2 or E = MC squared.
Yeah.
And basically in the background on the chalkboard, the subber has put the words Albert Einstein, better known as intellectual property thief. I don't know what that is. That's like an inside joke to something. But
Well, actually, that's interesting because Einstein did work at the patent office for a long time.
Oh, that's very funny.
And also the choice that like I thought was the most strange was assassinate Sogo no Iruka or masturbate somewhere in India.
Yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck?
He did choose to do the assassination.
What is going on in this show?
I
think
like how not even all of the choices were human. Some of the choices were like evolve or keep walking on your on your belly.
Yeah.
It's like
Eat cactus or return to the ocean.
yeah.
Also, this had to have been a light novel, right? Like this had to have been a light novel.
I don't know.
I couldn't
Look
say.
that up right now.
It's so demented.
So let's move along. Let's move along. Introduce some other characters here. Because he does eventually end up at school, and he does meet up with his classmate Yukihira, who appears to be a Rei Ayanami type, and is not a Rei Ayanami type.
Yeah. Appears to be, but turns out not to be. She just turns to...
He's like, hi, how's it going? She's like, it's going okay, maggot.
Yeah, she appears to. She gives off the appearance of a kudere, but actually is dreadfully insane.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't appear to have the same excuse of being cursed.
No,
like our main character.
she's just a fucking weirdo.
Okay, so she keeps calling him maggot, and then she's like, why are you calling me maggot? And she's like, I read my horoscope this morning, and it said I'm going to have an entomological disaster, so I thought I'd make a bad joke about bugs, and that'll be my disaster for the day, just to get it over with. Which is like, makes a weird kind of sense, but...
But also, like, that raises so many questions. What kind of horoscope is she reading that says that specific, like...
That
thing.
makes me think she has a different, like, she has her own curse, which
She's
is
reading,
that it's like a weird horoscope every morning.
She's reading normal horoscopes from Tumblr.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my god! I just saw another character's name that we didn't see in the show, and of course it's that.
Uh-oh.
But
Also, I did look it up, and this is a light novel.
Of course. Anyway, nobody ever doubted you. Anyway.
Yeah, so she's just like, she's like, I could tell you a different bug joke if you really insist. And he's like, nah, no thank you. And she's like, well, if you really, really, really insist, I could say a different bug.
He's just like, all right, fine.
She's just like, sorry if I was bugging you with that. She called something about him like being a bugger, and it's like, what?
It doesn't qualify as a joke.
No, it's just kind of dumb.
It's just nonsense.
Well, so. And then the fucking like absolute choice thing kicks in again, and he has to either say, "Hey, let me touch your breasts," or "Hey, grab my breasts."
Mm-hmm.
And he decides to go with the one that is deranged, but like not sexual assault, and he says,
yes.
"Grab my breasts." And then she starts saying shit like, "Oh, you want me to caresticle your breasticles," or something like that.
She goes on.
It can't be that in Japanese,
I know.
but I
She-
don't understand what it could be that would lead to them to sub it that way.
I don't know, but she does go on for like 5 minutes about breasticles. She won't
I
stop
miss Emma.
saying it.
Emma would
Yeah,
help
I know.
us here.
Emma
Yeah.
would have known the joke.
Oh my god. The fucking she just keeps saying breasticles
It
in different
keeps-
sentences.
She's like,
like-
don't you just sometimes want to say breasticles over and over? And he's like, no.
This is like,
She's
no.
explaining the etymology. She's like, as we both know, breasticles is likely a portmanteau of testicles and breasts, but. And just,
Meanwhile, everyone else in the room is just like, Jesus Christ. What the
going on over there.
fuck is wrong with you people?
Oh, fuck.
And then okay.
And then he
so
gets another choice immediately.
Mm-hmm.
it was it was either I want to cresticle your breasticles or cresticle my breasticles, which is like
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, except
Same
with
thing
the word
again.
breasticle this time.
yeah.
So he does, again, choose the one that's less nasty. He
Yeah.
just...
And more nonsensical.
Yeah, and, and she's just like, that's weird. Why would you say that?
I can't
why would you
convert.
say breasticles?
I can't continue to converse with somebody who uses such crude language.
It's like, you were the one that couldn't stop saying it. Oh, man. And then...
that other girl comes in, does like a fucking backflip off her bars and shoot heads below, and she like throws her fucking backpack into the room and it hits the table and makes the weirdest splattering noise.
Makes like
Yeah,
a
it does.
squishy noise.
It does squash a bunch.
It's like...
Damn, girl, what do you have in your backpack? Fucking like apples that you put in the oven on 100 for 1 hour?
Honestly, the things that she pulled out of her backpack, you know what? I'm not surprised that it made that squishy noise.
Fucking military Alice bag full of just raw calamari.
Yeah.
But yeah, in her bag was a bunch of
Bunch of products.
prototype products. And
She's like, this is the horny juice that I fed to my mom this morning.
Yeah, just crimes like that.
just crimes.
Her name is apparently Uoji.
Mhm.
Uoji. There shouldn't be a space in there. Uoji. And yeah, she's the daughter of a big fucking pharmaceutical company's CEO. I guess it was a pharmaceutical company. They seem to sell a lot of stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably like a megacorp where they sell all different kinds of things, like Johnson and Johnson or something.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, because one of
I
the
know,
things
Johnson.
was like candy.
Yeah, we all know Johnson and Johnson sells the horny juice. So
It's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
I bet you could find something in their catalog. But yeah, she has that. She has the money printing machine, which is clearly too realistic and will result in arrests.
yes, it's a counterfeiting machine. That looks
And,
like a toy though.
And the other
And,
girl immediately tries to steal the money, like,
and yeah, she does have a bag of maggot candies, which satisfies the prophecy referred to earlier.
Yeah. She's like, ah, yes, it actually does contain maggots after she feeds them to the two people. And they're just like, oh, that's so gross. And she's like, actually, I don't know what's in here. And then we see like a little, like cutaway of the back of
the back.
And it says, I have it written down. It says, other than sugar, we cannot disclose the ingredients due to various reasons.
Yeah.
It's like, this is troubling.
Concerning.
And while the two of them are verbally sparring, our protagonist is faced with another choice.
Yep.
We missed a part I didn't want to point out, which is just continuing on the deranged path of their conversation, which is after the one girl throws up her maggot candy, she like turns around, she's like, you should never throw up anything that anyone gives you as food. It's the biggest insult. And then he's like, you just threw up that food, and she says, I have morning sickness.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Absolutely demented. So yes, he's faced with another choice out of the blue, which is to strip off his shirt and scream as a Japanese man,
Like a real
or
Japanese man.
or strip off his pants and scream like an Amazon warrior.
He's like, Amazon warriors don't go bottomless. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So of course he's just like, well, I'm not gonna wave my dick around in class, so I guess shirt it is. And he's just got like tears streaming down his face as he slowly takes the shirt off.
Very sad. Poor guy.
But then even that's not enough. That like he's still having head pain, so he does have to like scream. So then the like I guess that's the teacher, or is it the counselor?
She's
like a small lady.
She's like so tiny.
She appears to be an actual child, but I think she's a counselor. They went to the counselor's office, and yes, she knows about the curse.
She does, and she's like, "Listen, I know you're cursed, but you can't just strip in class." He's like, "I'm literally cursed. What do you want?"
He's just like, lol.
She's like, I'll cover for you. Go back to class.
Yeah.
So yes, that is the school
the show
scene. And then he goes home and
gets ambushed by his terrible neighbor again.
His awful is like this old lady who wants his booty, which is disturbing.
Yeah. The first time she meets her, she's like, at least on the show, she says, "Oh, you look just like my late husband," or something like that.
He's just like, "Lady, I'm a teenager.
I have to go to school to learn calculus."
And yeah, another choice is forced upon him, and it's the choice between "hold me, please," or "hold me and let your instincts run wild."
Yeah, it's oofa doofa.
God.
So we have that really uncomfortable scene where she like snaps his spine because he does just pick the first one that's like slightly less awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she crushes him like Bane. And yeah, and then he just right before, right at the 22-minute mark, he gets another one. Just so that the show can have a second episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
have your neighbor fall from the sky, or have a girl fall from the sky. So he picks
the
girl falling from the sky.
Because he sees a vision of her falling from the sky and crushing him into a
He's like, I
so
will die.
Like, I have to pick the other one.
He does almost die anyways. She
does
like
fully
craters
fall
him
from the sky. And her name is Chocolat.
Chocolat. Just her crotch directly in his face
for no reason. She like lands like in like a fucking like exorcist pose.
Yeah, she's like in a spider pose.
Weird.
You know the reason. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely demented. She's like, "Hi, I'm here to save you." And then roll credits.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you were given the option: watch more or don't.
Yeah, watch more or don't.
Slams the don't button.
Yeah, now we're cursed.
Oh man.
With watch more or don't. I'm not watching more of this. I don't.
No. Can't possibly.
It had some fun energy in places, and the backgrounds were surprisingly good. But no, it's not. I'm
fairly okay animation. Like I think. I think the OP, like the way that they had all the clothes flow as they like flipped onto their backs or whatever.
That was kind of creative.
They, sort of like a backflip type thing, and I think it like was so like smooth that I like was almost certain it was either rotoscoped or like heavily like reference based.
Yeah.
Which is like nothing. Like I don't think that's at all like bad or anything. In fact,
no, it looked
the art is made so
it looked good. It looked stylish, but. These people used their skills for crime is all.
Yeah.
These artists listen, so I guess sometimes you gotta
these artists use their skills for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's true.
It's not like they chose this.
This is true.
But yeah, that's
Did anyone watch the bits after the credits?
yeah, a little bit. There's like a weird speculative future bit where he became a famous musician with a breast fetish because of the
Yeah.
interaction with what's her name?
Mm-hmm.
With Yukihira and the breasticles.
Yes. And he's just singing really badly about boobs. He's like, your top is so thin, I can almost see through it. It's like, what?
And apparently this somehow becomes popular in future Japan.
Weird.
Those wacky Japanese.
Those
I mean,
wacky.
Given the direction that music is going, I feel like that could happen.
Maybe it's
I
like
don't-
popular, but just as a meme.
Yeah, like a meme song.
Maybe.
What direction?
Like, what?
You said given the direction music is going. What direction
Like,
is it
I was
going?
thinking of like just like how like we have a bunch of like meme songs, like what Joey said. Like how like Troll Lol was like a huge thing. So I'm thinking like,
Sure.
I like how that's the direction you went, and not your favorite meme band of choice, 100 Gex.
that too. I don't argue that their music is challenging.
It's
but I
meme
love
core.
it just the same.
I am challenged by 100 Gex every time I remember they exist.
Mhm.
I just think about the time that my roommate tried to, introduced 100 Gex to her friend, and basically said, they were like, "What's 100 Gex?" And she's like, "They're music." And
They're
her friend's like, "I
music,
would hope so."
allegedly.
Some people call them music.
They're music.
So, we have. Yeah, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I said we have to get out of here.
We gotta get the hell out of here.
Well, we have to take care of some procedural stuff. We do have an email at
Yes.
oneepisodecast@gmail.com that I'm going to check right now.
That is the word, not the number. And you have the choice. Your choices are 1. Send us a tweet at oneepisodecast on Twitter. Or you could not do that, I guess.
Not do that, I guess.
I was trying to think of something like awful to put in the second place, but I was like, oh, I'm not perverted enough for this joke.
Well, I guess we don't really
Don't have any emails.
we don't really have any new emails.
Oh.
And I often don't see when we get notifications on Twitter because I use TweetDeck to message.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
But okay, that's it.
That's the show.
Bye,
everybody.
podcast over. Go
Our
home
choices-
now.
Our choices are end the podcast or make one more horrible joke.
I'm going with the first one.
Okay,
Bye.
good choice.
I wonder how long I can get y'all to just drag it out.